What's up, guys? We're back. Another episode this week. We're excited to have Colby with us again. You know, he's becoming a staple around here, and it's been more fun.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, where's Austin? Exactly.
You know, you guys have commented we want shorter episodes. Well, me and Colby went for literally an hour 7, an hour 10 last week. So
something like that.
Yeah. So, you know, that was 30 minutes shorter than Denny's podcast. Mm-hmm. Just, you know, we're just cooler like that.
A little bit cooler.
Yeah. So you guys need to show us some love in the views by watching this hour and 7-minute podcast that you guys were complaining about that, our episodes are too long. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Anyway,
watch this.
Yeah. We got a great show for you. We do thank you guys for watching anyway. But this week, episode 26 edition. So we'll get into who we're dedicating that to. This week's overview we're going to do on sports betting. I'm excited about that. I've kind of waited. I know you're a bit of a gambler too, Colby, so I'm excited to get into that. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, we're going to recap Daytona, who stood out to us, and then I'm going to hit you with some lines, I think, going into the regular season championship, which is going to be fun. And then we'll get into Darlington Predictions, and then, as always, we're going to close with some stupid questions. And on that note, it is time to drop the green.
It's been a long time gone since the truth's been told, and I've seen my head cut us low. Come on, save my soul with a bar guitar.
All right, everybody. As Spencer said, welcome back to Drop the Green. Boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an exciting time last week. But before we get into that, Colby, what do you got for your episode 26? Who you got for us?
And I got kind of a legend. Not kind of a legend. Ooh. I have a legend.
The legend.
I have the best NASCAR driver with the last name Johnson. Can you guess who that is? Because it sure ain't Jimmy.
That's right. It ain't a number 48. I can tell you that. Yeah.
We were talking about Junior Johnson here. A little bit of an old school driver, as you can tell by that picture there. So a little bit about Junior Johnson. So he is from North Carolina. Okay. Growing up, he has probably the most NASCAR roots you have ever heard of in your life. His father was a bootlegger. And so while growing up in North Carolina, oftentimes their house was raided by the FBI because his dad was kind of
like the FBI.
The FBI. Yep.
What era is this? Like what years?
This is
like early 70s, late 70s.
This is like in the 30s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's old. I'm sorry.
This is like him growing up. Yep.
Okay.
And then so he grows up around it. Around this bootleg era, and actually in 1956 through 1957, Junior Johnson himself spent a year in prison because he was arrested for bootlegging.
No shot.
Yeah, so that's our boy. He's a felon. He's also a Hall of Famer. But he would also be in the Hall of Felons, I think. A little bit both. Side note. He did get that felony expunged because in 1986 he was what do you call it, like exonerated or pardoned? He was pardoned by Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. It wasn't Nixon?
No. It was Ronald Reagan.
You know who? You know why I say that?
I think Nixon was in the 70s.
Yeah,
maybe? I know that because Forrest Gump.
But hold on, I'm going to put someone on blast because I told Austin that you were doing Junior Johnson, and he was like, "Dude, he better tell a story about how he was arrested and pardoned by Nixon."
No, it was by Ronald Reagan.
There you go, Austin, you're stupid.
Yeah, there's a reason why this is filled by me.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We got to get some people with some knowledge.
We like to have fun here.
So other than that, through his NASCAR career, he has 50 wins.
Really impressive.
Yeah, 50 wins. He was a part of the inaugural class of the Hall of Fame in Charlotte. I think that was like in 2012.
Okay.
I might be wrong on whenever the Hall of Fame started, but crazy enough, Jimmy Johnson was also a part of that, I believe. So there was two people with the last name Johnson on that. But yeah, had 50 wins. He began racing in 1955, so you might remember earlier I said in 56 he went to prison. So he actually started NASCAR in 55, then went to prison in 56.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, man, I mean, you know, back then it was different. Nowadays, can you imagine?
So like his day job at that time was like, hey, I mean, I guarantee they probably just weren't racing on Sundays, but imagine, let's just imagine in this fictional world that they race on Sundays, and Monday he was like, hey guys, don't put that car in the trailer, just strip the number off of it because I gotta make a run. But I mean, I guess that was, I mean, if he got caught, he was doing it frequently. You know?
would guess.
Yeah. It's wild.
That is wild. His first year in the Cup Series, he won 6 races. 5 races. Sorry about that. He won 5 races while in his first Cup Series year, which that would be crazy to think about, a rookie coming in.
Yeah,
now.
that would be insane.
Competition was a little different then, I guess.
For sure.
But we're going to be talking about Daytona today, and a lot of what we see from Daytona today is thanks of Junior Johnson, because he was the guy who figured out drafting.
No way.
Whenever he went to Daytona, he noticed all these other cars that were so much faster than his car. And they used to race at Daytona way different than what we see now. I mean, it kind of would look like an old school, not an old school, but before the next gen car, like a mile and a half where it was all kind of sporadic out.
Yeah.
That's the way it.
I mean, imagine this car. I don't know where this picture was taken at.
With the chrome bumper.
But yeah, with the bumper in general. Okay, imagine just the absolute aero specimen this would have been right here. It would have the downforce on this thing was probably insane. You know, it was probably making more downforce than a next gen car. Let's just say that. So I couldn't imagine going. Oh my gosh, they were probably running 1,000 horsepower in those engines or whatever they could at the time at Daytona for something like that. I wonder if he raced on the beach. You know how Daytona was like the beach track? I wonder if he was old enough to. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Good question. Answer in the comments.
Answer in the comments.
There you
Junior
go.
Johnson.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. But he noticed that these cars were faster, and he noticed if he started drafting off of them, he would gain more speed, and he'd be able to pass the faster cars. So they kind of call him the founder of streamlining, I think is what they used to call it, which is what drafting is now.
Yes.
But he did wind up winning the 1960 Daytona 500, so that's a part of one of his 50 wins. He never won a driver championship one time. I think the highest he ever finished was 6th place in the normal...
in the point standings?
Yeah,
wow.
In the point standings. He held on to the record for a very long time for driver with most wins without a championship at 50. I don't know exactly who broke it. It could have been Mark Martin. But I will also say that Denny Hamlin has surpassed this win total and also does not have a championship.
Yeah.
But he held on to that for quite some time. But he founded a race team for a long, long time. He as a race team owner, they won 6 championships, 3 with Darrell Waltrip and 3 with Kelly Yarborough. Now they totaled 150 plus wins, which is the 5th most all-time racing team win amount. Of course, like Hendrick and Joe Gibbs up there.
Stuart Haas probably, maybe, I don't know, 150? That is so, yeah, Stuart Haas is probably not there. I'm trying to think who would be above that. I mean, it's got to be somebody that's been there for RCR? No, not even close.
Can't be.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not Penske, maybe Penske. But you said 5th?
He's 5th.
So there's 4 teams in front of him.
Yeah.
Honestly, this would be a good time for Austin. Austin probably.
Austin probably. He's actually not 294.
Yeah. But
Just kidding, Austin.
that is interesting though. That's a lot. 153.
Yeah.
Okay.
100 and 132.
32. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Whoops.
Yeah. My bad. You may have said that.
No, I think I did.
Okay, you did say 153?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
but
okay.
he had a lot of people race for him, man. He had like Jimmy Spencer, of course, like Kel and Darrell Waltrip. But yeah, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, one, because he was a very, very much a winning driver for a very long time. And then he was even more a successful team owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode goes out to him. Sadly, he passed away in 2019, but he was alive for his Hall of Fame induction, which is pretty sweet. So,
R.I.P. to Junior Johnson.
Hey, to Junior Johnson, man.
Junior Johnson.
Junior Johnson.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Who you got?
Okay. So for this guy raced a while back. I don't know if you may remember him, but his before I give away anything, his first race was for Dennett Racing back in around 06. So if you guys remember this, 06. He was actually working for Dennett Racing as a pit crew guy, tire guy.
Really?
And the driver at the time needed to take a bathroom break. Gets out of the car, and they throw this guy in the car, and he's never driven a car before, never raced. Runs. The driver before was 4 laps down, not giving a care in the world. The racing team sucks. He brings him third place finish. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All the way back, third place finish. Goes from there. Right after that, Dennett Racing signs him. He has a permanent seat. They're so happy. And a legend was born that day. He meets his best friend named Cal, and they become up with this crazy scheme called Shake and Bake. And if that doesn't give it away, if you don't know what I'm talking about the number 6 Wonder Bread car of Ricky Bobby.
Yes.
And Ricky Bobby, an iconic movie of Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. But they developed Shake and Bake, and that goes off perfect for them. I mean, they're killing the scene. Cal's finishing second. Ricky's finishing first, race after race after race. And
ain't nothing wrong with second.
Ain't nothing wrong with second, Cal used to say.
Yeah.
And then a new guy comes to the scene named Gene Girard arrives and starts just whooping up on Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby can't handle it. And in this race, I think it was at Talladega, Daytona. I don't remember. He's desperate to win. He can't. He's tired of losing to Girard, and he has to do something. And he crashes. Has an awful crash. Comes out completely unscathed. Thank the Lord, that he was fine. He has a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
He has a mental breakdown. It's really bad. He doesn't know what to do. He has a mental breakdown. He forgets how to drive the car, gets fired from his ride at Dennett Racing, doesn't know what to do with his life, starts delivering pizza, loses his license, has to deliver pizza on a bicycle. I mean, it is rough for Ricky. His wife leaves him, marries his best friend Cal. I mean, it is a bad situation.
Magic man.
Yeah, for our boy Ricky. It's bad. Okay. Well, then his dad, who has been absent in his life for forever, comes back, and what Ricky Bobby lived by his entire life was the famous quote, "If you ain't first,
you're last."
His dad tells him that he was high, incoherent, drunk when he said that, and he was like, that means nothing. There's plenty of other places to finish. So Ricky's world is now completely gone, okay? The one quote that he just lived up to his entire life is gone. He doesn't know what to do. And he goes through this mental health crisis, and his dad ends up coaching him back and gets him into a Chevelle that has a cougar in the car. You gotta act like there's a cougar in the car, and he gets him to drive like this, and pretty much brings back Ricky for his career, you know. So,
Do you remember when he has the blindfold on? He's like, "Son, you got to feel the road.
you got to feel the road." Yes, because he can't see. Yes.
And he's like, "Better hightail it out of here."
Yeah. But if you haven't seen this movie, so pretty much that was the plot to Talent. It is such a good movie. Will Ferrell, John C. O'Reilly. Pretty sure Ricky's mom was.
Oh, that's the lady that was in all the Halloween movies.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis, is that it?
No, it is with a J though.
I think it's Jamie Lee.
Is it Jamie Lee Curtis? Okay,
I'm
but
pretty sure.
there is a lot of great actors.
Jamie Lee or Jamie Lee? I think it's Jamie with an M.
Jamie with an M, maybe so. I don't know. I'm not good at actors, but anyway, the
actress. Yeah, dude.
Actress. Sorry. Thank you.
What's your pronoun?
Yeah, keep me straight. Keep me straight, Colby.
This
That's
is a
right.
progressive podcast.
This is. We're very progressive here.
Mm-hmm.
But great movie. I wanted to talk about. I did him just because of when it came out. It was in 2006, and to me, NASCAR wasn't on decline yet there, but it was like at its peak. And it did a lot of things for the sport. Even though I wasn't a fan then, I saw that movie. Yeah. I saw that movie in probably like 2010, 2011 at a friend's house or something.
It took you 4 years to watch that movie?
Yeah. In 2006, I was 8 years old.
You're a baby.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you now?
25.
I mean, I'm only 3 years older than you.
Yeah, I know. So if I was 8 then, that would have put you at literally the exact time I watched it 3 years later at 11. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. Okay. So so I watched that movie then at a friend's house. But looking back on it now, I think it's crazy to think about how that movie is. Oh, and I'm sorry I didn't throw him up on this.
Yeah, you didn't put up Ricky.
No.
That's not Ricky Bobby, folks.
That is not Ricky. Here, let's get his picture. That is the Wonder Bread car. Yeah. I didn't mean to zoom in that much. But beautiful ride. It paid a lot of homage. It did a really good job of highlighting different things in the sport. So me and Austin had talked about Smokey Yunick before.
Yes.
Famous crew chief.
Yep. That
Chevelle in that movie was paid homage to him of the car that he raced and built. So that was really cool.
The me car.
Yeah, the me car. That had the Cougar on it, but I'm talking the Chevelle that his dad put him in when the Cougar was actually in the car. Yeah. That one that he drove blindfolded. But it's a really funny movie. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's fun. It's a fun movie. They do a great job with it. But also, I just wanted to get into a little bit of like there's not a lot of movies that transcend a sport kind of like this one did. Because it kind of took over to me. Like, they paid homage to it with Ryan Preece and Chase Briscoe at Stewart-Haas. They did the shake and bake cars. They had Old Spice.
Yes,
and
those are sweet.
Yeah, those were really cool to see something like that happen. Like, there's a lot of great football movies, and if I started naming them, I would miss a lot. But you don't see, like, the NFL pay homage to something like that. You know what I mean? Like the Titans are not doing a throwback scheme to remember the Titans. Yeah. You know, and if they have, I'm so sorry. No, but yeah, exactly. So it just shows what that movie did for the culture. Everybody kind of knows that those one-liners from that movie. If you ain't first, you're last. I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. You know, just stuff like that. That's super cool to see. And I also just kind of wanted to get into a little bit of just on the spectrum of how good this movie was. I looked at like a list. Rotten Tomatoes had a list of 26 different automotive. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word automotive movies. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of them that are based off the Le Mans, Formula One that I've seen that are really good. Like
Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari is an amazing movie, but it's not a NASCAR movie. It's not. That's an amazing movie. I don't know if you've seen Rush. Rush is a really good movie. Mm-hmm. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is now, but you need to give that a watch. It's about Formula One. It's about this guy named God. I can't remember his name. and that's embarrassing. But I know it's, and I can't remember the actor's name, but it's played by Thor. Who's Thor in the Marvel movies?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, Chris Hemsworth is the star of this movie, and
We are actor name dropping today.
We are.
This is a movie podcast.
This is a movie podcast. But Rush is really good. It talks about it's based on a true story, and it goes into his Formula One career and everything that he kind of struggles with. But what I was getting at is that there's not a lot of NASCAR movies. You have this one. You have Days of Thunder with
Tom Cruise.
I was going to say Mission Impossible, but I knew that wasn't right. Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Another really good NASCAR movie. Does a great job.
I've never seen it.
Whoa.
I know. Dude, it's never on any streaming service.
It's not, because it's an old movie. It came out in 1990.
Hell, Tombstone's on Hulu.
I understand. You're right. It needs to be.
I need to watch it.
You need to watch that one. Yeah, you have.
Every NASCAR fan I tell that to, they're like...
It is an iconic one. That one's good. Yep. And so is this one. But so I looked into like the NASCAR movies that pretty much did the best at the box office. And you wouldn't believe this one was second to only one other movie, which I told you before the show, but it was Cars.
Yeah.
So Cars was Cars was the only other movie to clear more at the box office than this movie. And that just goes to show you how crazy it was for the culture at the time, how funny it was, and just how they encompassed the whole sport. To me, they did a good job of showing you kind of all the different little things, that you wouldn't realize.
You probably don't know this, but do you know which one came out first?
Yeah. What do you mean? Like,
did Talladega Nights come out before Cars?
Cars, yes. Yeah.
So we could say that Talladega Nights could maybe be the reason why Cars was so successful.
Maybe so. We're grasping at straws, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably not.
No. They're on different spectrums. Right. One was backed by Disney. You're backed by Disney. You got a lot going for you.
You got it going.
You got it. Yeah, you got it going. But my episode 26 goes out to Ricky Bobby. What a great guy. And yeah, number one. So excited there. Moving on, let's get into a tad bit more serious topic here that we got in sports betting. So I'm going to kind of give you my rundown of sports betting, and then I got a question or two for you at the end. So as you know on the show, we always pick bets and try to talk about the best lines, what we see, who we think is going to win the race. And a lot of people may be new to that world because it is kind of new legally in certain states around the South, the Southeast. And the biggest thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was line movement. So when at least on FanDuel, DraftKings, all that stuff, most of it comes out on Wednesday for a Sunday, Saturday race. It normally comes out on Wednesday. And pretty much the goal of any line that's set in any sport, anywhere, is to make the betting even. So you're trying to give equal opportunity to every single team that's playing another team or driver racing another driver. And so in that, you'll have winner bets, you'll have top 10s, and NASCAR-wise, top 10s, top 5s, sometimes top 3s. You have winning manufacturer. I know you can bet on pole sometimes. You can also, they have head-to-head. So you can, they pair up guys and you can go head-to-head who wins out of that battle. I wish they had Carson Corey head-to-heads.
Making a killing.
Yeah, we would be. Excuse me.
He's going to turn it around, though.
He can't. He can't. He's too busy upside down.
That's what I say. He can only turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But they try to do the best job that they can of taking stat lines, who's been the best this year, and giving them a score or an odds of how likely they are to do whatever they're about to do. So a preview of kind of a little bit of what we're going to talk about later, but for example, Kyle Larson is minus 600 for a top 10 at Darlington. Minus 600. So if you don't know anything about sports betting, it's based off of we do units, so it's based off of units, and 100. If you're plus, you're making money. If you're minus, you're not getting what you put in back. You are getting it back if you win, but you're not making that same amount. So say you put in. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ask your question.
I think you was about to say.
Okay.
I was about to say you put in $5. If it's minus, your winnings might be like $250. So your total payout's $750, but $5 of it's your money.
Exactly. Is what you put in.
Yep.
But a minus, of course, is the favorite, so it's more likely to happen, of course. The big thing is that what I kind of watch sometimes, and it's hard to not tell this on the podcast, but give you guys a feedback of when we look at lines, because we film on Wednesday. I make my picks on Wednesday, and then we go to practice and qualifying. That can change the lines. So there's only a couple ways that lines change. Mostly if they qualify well. So say Harrison at Daytona, I couldn't even tell you what his odds were. They were probably plus 3,000 somewhere in there. He qualifies on the pole. That may move to plus 2,000. Yeah. Like it definitely changes the odds because we see that he has a fast car and he beat everyone else out. Yeah. The only other way that changes or gets worse if he qualifies bad, or public money. Public money is something that a lot of people in the gambling world talk about, but if you're so new, you wouldn't know anything about it. There are websites, different sports books that track public money. So the best way I know to explain it is in a football game, honestly. Take a big game coming up this weekend, college football. We know it's the kickoff, is West Virginia and Penn State. So West Virginia, Pitt? No, I think it's Penn State. West Virginia plays somebody.
What about like Clemson and Georgia?
Clemson and Georgia. That's a. We know that's a real game. Sorry. So the sports books and other people are able to track where this money goes in. So the last time I looked at that line, it was 13.5 for Georgia. For Georgia. So Georgia was minus 13.5.
That means that they're predicted to win by
14 points. Yeah. Yes, they have to win by 14 points for it to pay. So they're in, and it's easier to talk about in a team perspective because of the fact of a spread. And a spread allows you, it's trying to make the teams even. Yeah. So if you,
I think we're favored by like 36.5 by UTC.
I saw 38.5. Yeah, but somewhere around there. So we're favored by a lot because that is going to bring up the team. So if you beat them by 7. In the sportsbook mind, you lost because you should have won by this many points. Right. So that line comes out. In football, there's so much more volume, so many more people betting on games that the lines move a lot more because there's so much more money coming in. So a line comes out at 13.5 for Georgia. People are like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's too many points. So we're putting money on Clemson. Money on Clemson. Money on Clemson. Money keeps going on Clemson, and the sportsbook looks at this and goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. We have to shallow up this line. We have to bring it down. So it moves to 10.5. Okay? So if you're betting Georgia, you're loving this, honestly. If you really think Georgia's going to win, so you may have took them at 13.5. You may cash out, do whatever, move it, because now you can get them at 10. Yep. Or, 10.5, whatever. So that's more points in your pocket, per se. The reason this is important is because sportsbooks normally don't lose. Okay?
Yeah, they're rich for a reason.
Exactly. The reason it's important to track public money is if you can see that the public is going Clemson. They're going Clemson, and the line doesn't move. The line doesn't move. What's the sportsbook thinking here? Okay? You can draw several conclusions on what's going on. One of them being, like,
let's go.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're thinking. They're thinking Georgia's probably going to beat them by 28. Something is telling them that they have such an advantage that we're just going to kill all this money. We're going to take it for ourselves. The other thing, of course, is the line drops and money starts going back in on Georgia. Okay, the other way, because like we said, the Georgia guys are like, whoa, now we have 3 points to play with, brings it back even money-wise. Because you don't want a game to be so lopsided in the sportsbook world, because you want to be able to win on both ways. If their money is even, then they literally don't lose. They don't like lopsided games, because if the lopsided games goes in the public's favor, they lose all that money. If not, they break even. See what I'm saying? Yep. Now, what they would love to happen is the public go one way, the game turns out the other way, then they pocket all that, of course. So line movement is key in betting to see where the public's at and how they're thinking and betting, and changes the lines. Does that make sense?
So it's like the same way in NASCAR as the way that this football is are you saying, like, if a lot of people are saying Kyle Larson winner this weekend, and then
his odds will go down.
Say he's plus, he's 500.
He's plus 500.
You might see it go down to plus 300 if people are just
hammering it. Yeah. So, I mean, you take a dude that's won. I know Jimmy's won a ton everywhere, but take Jimmy in his prime at Texas, his odds were probably plus 100.
Yeah.
You know, it was insane. He won at Texas.
You bet $1, we'll give you $1.
We'll give you $1. Yeah. So they're betting against, they're taking everyone else in the field, and you have Jimmy Johnson. I don't even know where I was going with that, so I'm sorry.
Like, to explain it in simpler terms, when people, I remember when I first started like betting on stuff, the plus 100, plus 200, I'm like, what does that even mean? It's really that first number, so like that 1 or that 2. So if it's plus 200 and you bet $1, FanDuel or DraftKings is paying you $2 for that $1.
Yes.
So it's really that first number times whatever
your unit is.
Yeah.
Whatever you're putting in. Exactly.
Yep.
Great way to explain it. But so the biggest things that I get, focusing back on the NASCAR side now that we've tried to explain a little bit about what's going on, a little bit how the lines move. I told you that NASCAR does winners, top 5s, top 10s, head-to-heads, polls, and they may have a couple other ones, but the biggest thing I want to pose to you is, I personally think, of course we know NASCAR is not as big as the NFL, they're not as big as the NBA, they're not as big as college football. How do we get these sports books to buy in to NASCAR betting? Because I don't know about you, but especially with the NBA and the NFL, the MLB, all these things have so many player props, so many, not just, you can't even parlay things in NASCAR. And I'm sorry I didn't explain that, but that's where you take two bets, you put them together, they both have to hit for you to pay out, but the payout's normally triple, much bigger than what the odds were. Yeah. So how does NASCAR fans corner sports books to release more bets? And maybe there's a book out there that we don't know about that maybe not even legal in Tennessee that you can do these things at. But for me personally, it's annoying just to bet what I list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with polls, and I've never even bet on a poll, but 5 things max that you can do. Yeah. And in football, there's 500 on one game. Yeah. On one game, you can bet the quarterback to throw over this many yards. You can bet how many touchdowns they're going to score.
Who scores the first touchdown?
Yes.
Method of first touchdown.
Yes. Yeah. I just want to know how, and again, we can just talk about it. How can fans corner these sports books to get betting more readily available in NASCAR, more bets?
Well, it's like different kind of bets that they can come up with, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Not just that. That's my next question, is what kind of more bets you would like to see. But how do we get the sports books and them to embrace the NASCAR culture of like what we want? I don't know if you remember this. It was Fox Bet Super 6 or something like that.
Win Clint Boyer's money.
Exactly. Win Clint Boyer's money. And they would pick the most random things, like who leads the most laps in stage 2? Yeah. Who wins stage 2? Who wins stage 1?
Yeah, I love that. fun.
Who leads the most laps? Who's going to be leading lap 168? Crazy stuff, okay? And a lot of it may be because the odds are incredibly hard to put on that. But at the same time, that's more money for them to take.
Yeah.
I personally think I would have more fun if I got to bet on things like that.
Me too.
Okay, yeah.
Me too.
Because then you can pick, I don't just care about the outcome of the race. I have something, say like in football, you have something in the first half. You can bet the winner of the first half in any game you want.
Stage 1, who wins stage 1?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who wins these are simple ones. I'm saying you can get crazy complex. Who has the fastest pit stop would be fun to bet on. That would be fun to bet on. And that's not hard. They have all the data that shows who is most likely to have the fastest pit stop. They know who the best crews are. They know who's the best driver coming down pit road to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, after I know I named some stuff, but what would you like to see as far as what are some bets that are lacking in NASCAR sports books? Sorry, I'm burping.
One that I always thought would be great is like an over-under, like a set number amount, and you bet whether over that amount or under that amount for amount of cautions in that race.
Yes.
I always thought that would be good. We already talked about it, but I've always thought doing stage winners would be really good.
Yep.
Also, to make playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah, to
like
make
not
playoffs.
just the championship. That's like the only future that you can bet.
Is
Who wins the championship?
Who makes it to the round of 8? Who makes it to the final 4?
Yes.
Bets like that.
Keep people engaged week in and week out because, again, not that a non-typical NASCAR fan or someone that doesn't even. The summer is what I'm getting at, is the perfect time to maybe steal some of those.
People, the only thing that's on is baseball. And most baseball games you can't watch.
Exactly.
Like, I'm a Braves fan. Unless you have Xfinity and pay extra for Bally Sports, you can only watch the Braves when they come on Fox or ESPN, which is once every 2 months. There's just not a lot to bet on.
No. Not that, because I know as usual, I like to watch it.
Yeah.
You sit down at your TV and you're like, oh, we're 100 laps into a NASCAR race. Yeah. Stage 2 ends in 100 more laps. Let's place a little money on the third. There's
no live betting. That's another thing.
No, DraftKings did change that. You can bet live winners. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
It's okay.
I know you don't bet with DraftKings.
No.
I did, but they're the official sports book of NASCAR now.
I know.
Okay, but you can do live betting now. But you're exactly right. It just came about this year. So you couldn't do that before. But like you said, so it's someone that's flipping through the channels looking for a sporting event, finds us, is a big gambler because we know there's so many degenerate gamblers out there that they're only going to watch Indiana basketball game versus Purdue because they have $400 on it, for some reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So getting live betting, to me, live betting is a big one that we need to overcome. It's not that hard. They've done it for forever in football. You can bet on if there's going to be a punt, a turnover, or a first down on a drive in football in real time. You can't tell me that you couldn't put a live bet on who's going to win stage 2. Yeah. You can't.
Also, how fun would it be to bet on DNFs?
Exactly. Yeah. Stuff like that. That would be fun.
Corey LaJoie minus 500.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They can make the odds however they want. Every time. You probably come out on the good side.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
Yeah, you would be. So that's pretty much my biggest beef with that, is that we are not taking. So to get at my question, the way I would kind of answer it is, NASCAR needs to not just force these sportsbooks' hands, but go into partnership like what they did with DraftKings and be like, here's what we think our fans would engage in more. Because you got to bring to the table to DraftKings. DraftKings is not going to listen to you because you're of a fourth-tier sport. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, you're on tier 4. There's a lot of events in front of you.
Yeah. So
many. So you have to bring something to the table to be more engaging, and the perfect time to do it is during that summertime when people are flipping through the channels on a Sunday. There's no NFL football on. There's no basketball on. There's nothing. And people are just looking for something to watch, and they would be more. You would get more viewership that way.
Yes.
And the sportsbooks will make money. So to me, you offer stuff like that to where
because we will lose every time.
Exactly, they always win. No matter what you do, they always win. So that's my beef of ad stuff. Exactly like you said, who's going to win the stages? I would love to see a fastest pit stop. DNFs would be awesome. You said another one that's slipping my memory right now. That would be fun to bet on. Cautions. Yes, cautions. That's the one I was thinking of. How many cautions there's going to be? You can totally gamble.
Like the over.
Yeah, the over, if it goes into overtime or not.
Yeah.
I mean, here we would have made a ton of money, you know?
Yeah,
this year we would have. Yeah. How many laps are there in overtime? Stuff like that. So I think they're missing a perfect opportunity if NASCAR really wants to grow their fan base even more. And I know the money's not an issue. You can easily go, and maybe they have, and the sports books have just turned them down. But I doubt it. I doubt they've even looked at that route. But I would love to see something like that to where the current fans that gamble can get more involved, who gamble on other sports, to get more involved and catch a casual every now and then.
You know, I think that's going to grow. I think that sports betting on NASCAR is going to grow, and the reason why I say that is because NASCAR's big headquarter building is in North Carolina, and just last year they made sports betting legal
there. Good.
So maybe
it's just going to take time.
Maybe that does, because you know, those guys, they live there every day. They're probably not thinking about it, and now it's legal. And then they're like, because not too long ago, that's whenever DraftKings, about a year ago, is when DraftKings became the official partner, and then now they've introduced live betting. So maybe in the future we'll get more stuff.
Yes. So that's my goal. But I hope that gives you a picture of kind of what we look at, different things. It's super fun. Of course, gamble responsibly. Like we all do. We gamble responsibly. Yeah, exactly. So, moving on a little bit, unless you had anything else?
No.
Okay. Moving on. Daytona. Race rating. Go.
Man. I know that this isn't a really popular answer when it comes to NASCAR purists, but I love super speedway racing, Atlanta. Listen, I know it's not actual racing. I know it's not the same as like a strategy.
No, there's strategy. But it's all strategy.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'll tell you this much. Whenever I have people around me who's not really NASCAR fans, I was telling them, like, you got to tune in Daytona Saturday night because it is fun to watch.
It is. And we see that with the ratings and everything that they do.
Yep.
Of how many people tune in to stuff like this.
I didn't see a lot of times at super speedways, the stage 1 and stage 2 are pretty boring because they're single file, they're saving fuel, they're not passing. I don't think we saw a whole lot of single file follow the leader stuff. It was the entire time it was pretty engaging. So my race rating, I'm going to give it a 9.0.
Oh,
I'm going to give it a 9.0. That was a really good Daytona race.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was. It's fun to watch. I gave it 8.1. So I'm sorry. I know.
Please you. What else do you want from Daytona?
I don't want it. I don't want it at all.
Okay, so you're fine never watching a Daytona race again?
No, I want the 500 and then that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Don't you think that, I know this year it's different because of the Olympics, but normally Daytona's the cutoff race for the playoffs. Don't you think that's so interesting?
No, because then you have something like we just saw.
You're so silly for that.
No.
Put in the comments if you think Spencer's steak is terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's terrible.
Okay, it's really good. I think it's shared by a lot more fans that want to admit if they're true fans. Okay, that's all I'll say.
No. Daytona is like... Daytona is Daytona.
I know. And the reason I'll get into that, first off, before we skip there, congrats to Harrison. Yes. Round of applause. Harrison raced a great race. You are exactly right. There is so many instances in that race where you can get into trouble.
Yep.
You can wreck. You have to play a part in that. and not exactly know when that's going to happen, but you have to stay out of the way. You have to stay out of trouble. That's 80% of the race.
Yeah.
It really is. It's 80% of the race that you don't get caught up in stuff.
You don't know where trouble is. So it is a little bit of a lottery. That's why I'm saying it's not like real racing, and I understand that.
That's why I don't like a lottery. We have enough lottery in the sport.
We don't have enough lottery. I mean, we do now, but
there is no other sport that has lottery.
If you took, okay, well, no other sport is like NASCAR, so you can't compare it to other sports.
I'm just saying
if you took away any kind of super speedway race, you'd miss it.
You're right. I would.
Yeah,
I would.
You'd be like, man.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I would love to see.
8-1.
Yeah.
Well, this ain't up to my standards.
No. 8-1.
Phoenix where we can't pass. Yeah. But
whoa.
Their tires are wearing out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're coming and going. But I don't. Congrats to Harrison. Congrats to Harrison. He raced a good race. Stayed out of trouble.
He did.
The one thing I will say, congrats to the Wood Brothers team. They got their 100th win. Mm-hmm. The one thing I will say that's, to me, not talked about enough, that's a Penske car. I don't know if you have another take. It's a Penske car.
Penske engine.
It's a Penske everything. That's Penske's fourth car.
They but Wood Brothers by themselves, they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, I guess they opened the Lego box and they put the Lego.
Like Blaney's crew or Joey's crew or even Cinder's crew is putting that car together. They all do it in their own shop.
Yes,
they get the parts, but you have to have the.
Josh Berry, now that he's going to the Wood Brothers, signed a Penske contract.
Did he?
Yeah,
but it's a little.
The driver that is about to race a Wood Brothers car signed a Penske contract. It's a Penske car.
I'm telling you, it's not equal. I hear what you're saying, but it's not an equal car. You can't be like, well, that car is just as fast as Blaney's. Because I think anybody...
Yeah, probably because they make it slower because they don't know what's going on.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying Wood Brothers messes with it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that's embarrassing for Wood Brothers.
It's
then.
a bad thing.
Yeah.
But they don't have billionaire Robert Penske making sure that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I give you that. I give you that. The checks and balances at Wood Brothers is not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. At the end of the day, that is a Penske car. And you won't convince me otherwise. I'm just saying they have the potential to be a Penske car. Whether they use it or not, I don't know. But clearly they don't. Because the other point I want to make that's ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
Again, I know. That's fine. I'm glad you're arguing me this episode, okay? You were too much and shaking your head yes last episode.
I was tired.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm glad you're rested up on this beautiful Wednesday. But
everybody that's watching, I just want to know what their race ratings are. If you don't mind, put what you would put in the comments. How good do you think Daytona is? I was a 9-0. You were an 8-1, which is way too low.
Back up from the mic a little bit. You're yelling. No, don't back up. No.
Can we just sit back? Can everybody hear me okay?
No.
Sorry, I was getting fired up. Anyway, put it in there.
Yeah. Put it in there for sure. That's a great idea. You did a little bit. It got a little louder.
Dog up.
Tighten.
I hope your dog has to wanting to go out to pee now.
Yeah.
Now you got to get up from the couch.
You got to pause it and wait. Give us your race rating. I don't even know where we were at. I don't know either.
Okay.
We were talking... No, yes. I know the point I wanted to make. The point I wanted to make is that Harrison Burton wins a race.
Yes.
Okay? He didn't get the most points that you could possibly get in a race because we know how the points work. You win, the more stages you win, the more points, whatever. But he wins the race. He is currently, before Daytona, he was 34th in the overall points. He wins. He has not won a race. Wins Daytona. We're all cheering for him. Congrats to him.
Beautiful moment.
It was a beautiful moment for his dad, for his family. You saw his mom and his fiance get emotional. You saw him get emotional. That's awesome. Winning your first NASCAR race is something that I don't want to throw shade on it. Exactly. That's a big moment. At the same time, he's still 34th in points.
That's crazy.
That is.
That man won a race, and he didn't move in points
at all. At all. That's how bad they've done. That's the only irritating thing that I have about the lottery system here that we're working with is that.
But you can't be irritated by it, Spencer.
Yes, because now that man takes up.
No. You can't be irritated by it. No, you can't. Because
why can't I?
Hey,
why can't I be irritated?
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
It's February. Start of the NASCAR season. We're going to the 500. We all have the same rules. Win and you're in. If you're mad because your driver didn't win at Daytona, brother, there's been 25 other races or whatever it is before then for your driver to get a win. These are the rules.
So what you're saying is pretty much you're going off, and we've talked about it, the charter system. If you think you can win Daytona, you might as well just race around in 32nd the entire rest of the year.
No. And the reason
I'm just saying you should be penalized a bit for racing so bad because clearly you are not up to the standard of the other 30 cars. You couldn't even pass. You won a race and you couldn't even pass 4 cars to get to 30th in points after a win. That's how bad you've been.
I'll say that. I mean, it's a very unique situation. This has not happened one other time.
This is to
in
me
the playoff system. This has never happened before. You can't have this happen one time and go, this is all garbage.
No. I've been a component that I don't like the playoff system anyway. So I'm
used to be. I think last year it was like
you had to finish 30th.
30th
in points. Yeah.
30th.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
Yeah.
So, but the comparison I wanted to make. So imagine, you remember when the Lions went 0-16?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine they go 0-16 or 0-15. Okay. The Patriots, I know it wasn't in the same season, but the Patriots are 15-0. Okay.
It's not the same. What you're about to say is not the same because they didn't in this thing that you're saying, they didn't just beat the Patriots. Harrison Burton beat everybody. You can't compare NASCAR to football.
Yes, you can.
No, because that's a one-on-one thing. This is everybody was out there. Kyle, who's first? Probably Kyle Larson in points right now.
No,
Chase.
Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick. Yes,
yeah,
that's right. But he beat Tyler Reddick. He beat all of them. He beat everybody. It's different. You can't. I mean, it's as the fruit farmers say, it's apples to oranges. Can't do that. I'm just saying, I like the system. You can't be like, you can't throw the whole system away. He won. These are the rules.
He did win. I'm not denying that they should not take his playoff thing away. He should qualify. He followed the rules. Whatever. The rules are stupid. It's fine. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about this race, because I know we prefaced this episode by we're going short. We're on 2-hour track right now. We're having too much fun. The other thing I want to talk about, and we'll speed it up, and I want to get your take on this, is Carson Hocevar. We've talked about him. We've always been a fan of him. Made a tweet to Jeff Gluck's poll this week that said, it was pretty much a long thing, and the bottom of it said he ran 40%. His average throttle was 40%. That's so slow. We had that stupid question last week. What would happen if you got 4 or 5 cars together that went full throttle? Could they lap the field? Could they not? We don't know. Probably not. We're going to lean towards that side because if they could, I feel like someone would have tried it. At the same time, I know Carson ran in not even the middle of the pack, way towards the back. If his average throttle is 40%, that means a lot of the time he was running under that. And that, to me, puts at he finished 11th. Yeah. So he was up there. He stayed out of trouble. That means his max throttle is 100%. He might have not touched that till the last 2 laps of the race in overtime. That's ridiculous. That's the one thing of I'll swallow the fact that the playoff system is the way it is. That's the rules. But the rules do not say that you should go 40% throttle half the race, over half the race. That was your average. Throttle. Don't think a rule can be implemented for that, but I think the leaders or someone, I don't know how they would do it, push them to go 100% for as long as they can go. Get who is ever in the back for the longest. So look at Corey LaJoie's SMT data and make.
How you immediately go Corey LaJoie?
Yeah, of course, because he is running 36th. So look at his SMT data at Daytona. By God, it better, even if he's in the back of the pack, better be his average throttle better be over 60. You know? Yeah. Will you agree with that with me?
No.
Okay. Wow. But
I just think the reason why, and it's not any knock on Carson. I think a lot of the reason why his average throttle percent was probably about 40% is, like you said, he finished 11th. But with these super speedway races like Talladega, Daytona, even Atlanta now, it's a race of getting to the end and not being caught up.
Yeah.
Maybe this average throttle percentage is a lot like, let's say you're on I-40 and there's a huge slow moving line behind you. Well, the cars way in front of you.
Get closer to the mic.
The cars way in front of you are driving faster.
Yeah.
Than you are, because you're in the back of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably a lot of what this is Carson, more than likely, I don't know exactly where he finished at stage 1 or stage 2, but he's hanging out back there.
Yes.
He's staying out of trouble.
He is.
So he's going a lot slower than these mid-pack or front guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that too. He's going probably half of what they're going. So I'm saying that if you look at someone that was in the front pretty much the whole time. So I wish I would have done a tad bit more research after I saw this tweet and tried to find SMT data for, say, Cindric or Joey or Michael McDowell, guys that were up there for a decent amount of time. I think either Joey or Michael McDowell led the most laps there for a while. I would want to see what their average throttle was, comparison wise, because because that's why you can really tell and again, my point I made may not be valid. So say that Michael McDowell, who led the most laps, was at 100% throttle, then we can really tell Carson was just babying it around there. Yeah, and okay, that kind of throws my point out the window. But if we looked at his SMT data, if we looked at Michael McDowell's, and we saw that his average throttle was 60,
it probably was.
It probably was. That's what I'm saying is sad. And that's what I'm trying to get at is I want to see the cars at these tracks go as fast as they can. That's what we want to see.
I agree with you there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. We can agree on that. They've made the cars they've made the cars safe. They can't keep them from flipping, but they've made them very, very safe. They're restrictor plated. They only go 195. They may top 200 in some straightaways if you're drafting. If you're being pushed, maybe. I think the average speed was like 188. So not that crazy. We see that all the time. They were going faster at Michigan, but that's what I want to see in the average throttle. So if you know Michael McDowell, if you can give me a leader that was going 100%, if their average was 90, 80, I'll throw my point out the window. But to me, I do think it would be closer to 60 or 70, which to me is just not what these cars. I don't want to see a fuel mileage race every time we go to a super speedway. I don't. I do love the wrecks. I do love the chaos. It is fun. When you're watching it, it is fun. It's yeah. You're sitting there, you're jumping up and down at the TV. It's the most engaged you are because side-by-side racing is so fun, especially at that speed. Anything can happen.
You see somebody just
Yes.
into another line. You're like, oh.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You're on edge. So it is really fun. But at the same time, do that at full speed. I know you're that good. You don't have to do that. You're not trimming that much time off. They talk about it all the time. So, all right. Anything else on Daytona? We'll move on. I know we got a couple other points, but I'll say them real quick. Sucks for Daniel Suarez getting caught on fire like that. So hopefully they fix that issue. Playoff race is getting tight. It looks like Bubba and Chastain, if they want to make it, are going to have to win, or Chris Buescher's going to have major issues like on lap 8. He's going to have major issues. We know the Fords are really good at Darlington, so I don't see that happening. To me, Bubba and Ross's only way in is a win at this point after the performance they had.
So Buescher's at plus 21, Bubba's at minus 21. I mean, that's a lot of.
That is. He's got to finish second, and if Buescher has a bad day, I think Bubba can point his way in. I know Ross is at 27, which doesn't sound like a lot from 21 to 27, but that is a lot. I mean, Ross would literally have to finish second, and Chris Buescher would have to finish. Not win a stage, not win any stage points. So, to me, Ross has to win. Bubba can point his way in if he has a really good race and Buescher has a bad one. Ty is like, I didn't write it down, but it's like plus 39.
Ty's good, and Truex is too.
Yeah, Truex is perfectly fine. Ty just has to finish the race. He doesn't have to win nothing. If I'm Ty, I'm just driving around there like Ricky Bobby does after he has his mental health crisis. I might. Yeah. I mean, just stay out of trouble. It doesn't matter. All he has to do is finish. So, Bubba Ross have to win. Moving on, standouts. We'll hit it real quick. Corey lost again to Carson. We're at 19-6. That officially means that Corey cannot pass him. He cannot tie. Carson wins the battle of the season. And I don't even think Corey's going to get to 10. He's at 6. I don't see him getting to 10. I don't think he beats Carson 10 times this year. I wish I would have said like week 1, because to me that's a statement to say. But now it's like we're about to go to Darlington. I'm pretty sure.
He's good at Darlington.
He is, but I almost think Carson's better. Really, I mean, I don't know. Somehow he just finds a way to be better.
Carson's such a good driver.
He is. So, other big news: SVG blew out. Crazy the way that engine blew up. We haven't seen that, like white smoke pouring out of that car like it did. We hadn't seen that since they've had 900 horsepower in the vehicle. That was wild. Also signed with Trackhouse. They're going to run the number 88 next year. I'm really excited to see that, to see how that turns out. I think he's going to be, I mean, honestly, I think he makes the playoffs because I think he wins a road course. I think he does. I don't think they've re-signed at Chicago, but he should have won Chicago if he didn't have his engine issue. You put him at COTA, he's going to be probably top 2. You put him at Watkins Glen, which is in the playoffs, so he can't win that one. Roval, we can't win that one. What's another one that we have before? I know I'm missing some.
COTA?
Sorry. COTA, I said COTA. There's another one. COTA, Chicago. There's another one. There's another road course in there before the playoffs. Sonoma. Thank you. Sonoma. I mean, he's going to be probably favorite at all 3 of those, especially in that car. They know they have speed. The one question that I'll say on the standouts, we kind of hit on it in the recap. We keep having this flipping problem. Do we think that it's a driver problem, or do we think it's an engineering problem?
I don't think it's either.
Oh.
I don't think it's either.
You think it's just part of the sport then?
Brother, yeah, I think the flipping. It happened at Daytona.
Yeah.
We're going fast.
Yeah.
It happened at Michigan last week. we learned that they're going 200 plus miles an hour.
Yeah. You don't see them flipping at Bristol.
Right.
Yeah.
When a car gets sideways and it's just carrying that much inertia, like you're not. Yeah.
What a word. Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
I will say this. I'll say that I don't think it's an engineering problem.
Yeah.
Because see Josh Berry's wreck?
Yeah. It was bad.
And he was just fine.
He was. No, yes.
NASCAR has done a good job with this.
Get closer to the mic.
Crazy.
They've done a really good job, and that's kind of what I was getting at with that question is the fact that I think it's a driver problem. The drivers need to quit driving like idiots sometimes. Quit putting themselves in situations where it's that risky. And I don't think any of them have said this because, like, they're not getting out. Josh Berry didn't get out of the car, and I know it wasn't really his fault in that instance, but at the same time, he didn't, like, get out and bash NASCAR that this car flipped. You know what I mean? But he easily could have. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't, but don't drive like an idiot sometimes. You're a professional driver. You know what your risks are getting into a vehicle. So
don't drive like you're from Oklahoma.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Always got to take a break. All right, we're back. So,
Spencer had a pee.
Wrong. But flipping, driver problem, engineers doing great. The last thing I want to say that stood out, the most watched NASCAR Daytona race since 2021. I think that's really cool. I am happy about that. They had 3.6 million views, up 6%, and it peaked at 4.2 million. Awesome. The more eyes on the sport, the better. So, happy about that. Moving on.
We're back.
To Darlington. We are back. Moving on, Darlington. Last race to get into the playoffs. What are you seeing betting-wise, Colby? What you got for me?
You go first because
Can we go first?
I got to pull up FanDuel.
Okay. I'm so sorry I didn't write it down, but we are down 4.2 units after last week. My strategy did not go well. As you know, I bet on 12 different guys to win. Harrison Burton was not one of them. Kyle Busch was, so that was very tough. But we're down 4.2. We got another 3 that we are going to use. And I kind of like these. So, first one, I think, of course, the guys are going to be good that are not competing for a playoff spot. They're going to be good. They're going to want to win. Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. You said it earlier. They're competing for the regular season championship. They're going to want to win at probably all costs because that is 15 playoff points. That's three race wins if they win the regular season championship. That's a lot. That is a lot. So I think there's going to be some money to be made there. Saying that, my first bet is Brad K. winner, half a unit. He won here in the spring. The Fords are going to be fast.
I think he goes back-to-back at Darlington.
Back-to-back at Darlington.
What a statement.
Heard it here first. Gets put out at the round of 8. But back-to-back Darlington. Give Brad his second win. I think that's very doable. He's plus 1,200. Yeah. He's gonna be fast there. Granted, he's going to want Buescher to maybe do better, which is why, like, when I say Brad, maybe sprinkle a little bit on Buescher. So, my very last pick, I will say it's between 2 guys. So first pick, Brad, plus 200, half a unit. The next ones are very not conservative, but definitely like they have to do this to make it to the playoff. And the first one is Ross top 5. Ross top 5, full unit plus 300. I feel really good about that one because we know how Ross is. You get to that line, he will do anything that he possibly can.
I like that.
Yeah. He will do anything he possibly can, especially if they come to the track with a fast car. They don't give a damn about Daniel Suarez this week. They do not care. He is a nobody to them. In all honesty, he's already qualified. He doesn't have to do anything. Everyone is working on that number 1 car. They're going to build a fast car. And at minimum, I think he gets a top 5. Easy there. So plus 300, I think is easy money. Full unit on that. Okay. Next one, Buescher. Top 5 again. Too easy again. I think it's either going to be him or Ross that wins the race.
You said top 5?
Top 5. Plus 230. Yeah. Buescher is going to be so fast. Brad won here in the spring. We know that RFK has speed here. We know that Buescher, his easiest way in is to win, even though he's plus 21 to the good. Why not just go win the race so there's no doubt? Yeah. Win the race.
So you don't think he's playing it safe? You think he's going for the win?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you play safe at plus 21, you open the door for Bubba. You know, that's like you're going into hole 18 at say the Masters, and you're up 1, and the dude just birdied the last hole to pull within 1, and now you want to hit an iron off the tee instead of a driver. Go to win. You know, he's smart enough that he's not going to put himself in trouble. He's fast there. He's raced there many a times. He knows how to get around that place. Don't do anything crazy, but also force the issue a little bit. Make those other guys that want to be there be better than you. Yeah. Don't run around. Don't pull a Ty Gibbs. We know what Ty's going to do. Ty's going to just get around. That's all he has to do. Force the issue to those other guys. So hopefully they, in the middle of the race, they make a mistake. You know what I mean? You force their hand where Bubba's running second in a stage and Chris Buescher's running third. And Bubba's like, I need to get the first. You know what I mean? To make that one less point that I have to get, he makes a mistake. Something like that. Force the issue. I think he's going to race very well.
You ain't putting any money on Bubba this week?
That was the only guy left out. So the other one is kind of one we talked about, who I also think is going to be very good here, and that's Tyler Reddick, because I think he's going to want to win the regular season championship. I think he's the best car pretty much all year besides Larson. Larson's been really good. Top 3. Half a unit on Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick either wins or finishes second or third. I expect nothing less.
What's the odds on top 3?
Plus 185. Okay. Barely anything. That's how likely it is he's going to win or finish top 3, which I'm okay with taking. I think that is a pretty good line. And then my last one. So that was my 3 units right there. To sprinkle it just because I have a feeling. And his time to shine. He has to do it. Ross wins Darlington. Ross wins Darlington, punches his ticket to the playoff, gets put out in the round of 12. That's fine. You laugh at it. And then you'll come back here next week and be like, Spencer's a genius. Plus 2,300 to win the race.
Whoa.
Another unit.
A unit?
Unit on Ross.
You're a crazy man.
I'm a crazy man. I just have a feeling. And that's completely biased, a lot of it. Yeah. I like it. So that's my 4 picks. But the other one I was going to say, Buescher to win. So if you don't like my Ross pick, Buescher or Bubba. Though I do think it is very likely that one of those 3 guys are competing for first, second, or third. So honestly, if you don't like any of those picks, go.
I like all those picks besides
except the Ross one. Yeah. And
but it's great value.
It is.
I'll give you that.
It is great value.
It's just like,
no, you're right.
man, he hasn't performed this year, and then to think he's going to win it like Cinderella. Harrison is the track that
Austin Dillon.
I know you already talked about it, but Austin Dillon cleaned out everybody and their mother.
Yeah, he did. He did. But the other pick I'll say, if you don't like any of those, Bubba, Brad, Ross, top 3. I do think one of them will finish top 3. If you put half a unit on each of them, you're going to make money. Yeah. You're going to make money, and all of them could finish 1, 2, 3. I could see something like that happening. But that's what I got. What you got?
So I only got 3 this week.
Okay.
Because football is starting back. And a lot of
we need to talk about that after you get done.
A lot of my I only have Thursday night games in here right now. But
no. I'm just gonna make fun of you from last week.
Why?
Florida State.
Hey,
I told you. I
want you to know I lost that Florida State bet, but I won 6 out of 7
on the other ones.
Yeah. I love winning manufacturer. That is, if you ask Colby, what's your favorite NASCAR bet? Winning manufacturer, because if you find something with plus money, it's a lot of cars.
It is.
But I got a little bit of either William Byron or Kyle Larson in mind here, because I have winning manufacturer as the old bow tie. Even though
that's a Ross Chastain win right there, baby. It is. Yeah.
But Chevrolets, if any of you guys are in about the car shop, don't get a Chevrolet. They're very unreliable. So it's probably this bet. But winning manufacturer for Chevrolet plus 175. And then I have second pick, and I'm only doing half a unit on that. I'm doing half a unit on that, and then the other 2 are just quarter units. But top 5 finish at plus 145. Brad Keselowski.
Yes,
he won in the spring.
Yep.
He's top 5 finish. Give it to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
because also Brad is wanting points too, man. He's about to go in the playoffs.
Exactly.
He's got to run deep.
Yeah.
He only has one win.
And we know how some of these Fords get. I mean, we've seen it with Blaney. We've seen it with Joey. They get hot. They get hot. And Brad he won here in the spring. No reason they can't bring a good car. He wins again and excels. Just excels towards the playoffs. And gets that rolling. Yeah. So I love those 2 picks. I do.
Last pick here, a guy you threw a little shade to just a moment ago. Ball for life himself, Bubba Wallace. I got him at a top 10 finish for plus 100.
Yeah. No, that might be the best value pick. That's a guarantee.
So
that's a guarantee. I would almost go a whole unit on that. That's
also bonus bet, not NASCAR related. We have a friend of ours who helped me out with this pick here, but we have the little football bet for you.
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday night football. It comes on 8 o'clock. It's Coastal Carolina at Jacksonville State. And the over-under for total point score, I took the under at 54.5 because Jacksonville State runs the ball. There you are.
Have you seen, again, not to get crazy off topic because we need to keep this kind of short, but have you seen like the crazy controversy? A lot of it was in the
bowling.
Huh?
Bowling? Are you talking about bowling?
No, I was talking about the play clock. So if you noticed, there's different college football rules. They went to a 40-second play clock. Well, in the Georgia Tech Florida State game, the play clock in the NFL, once the guy is tackled. The guy is tackled. So you run an offensive play, the guy is tackled. That moment, the 40-second play clock starts.
Dang.
Okay? That's how it should be. It's a 40-second play clock. That's a lot of time. Okay?
And now they can talk to them.
Yeah, now they can talk to them in the headset. So it's not an issue. In the Florida State Georgia Tech game, there were multiple times that Georgia Tech or Florida State, whoever was on offense, would run the ball, make a pass, run a play. 8 to 9 seconds would run off the clock before they started the play clock. And you're like, oh, that's just 8 seconds. Imagine if they do that every play on a 10-play drive. That's a minute and a half. That's a minute and a half every single time. So I'm with you on the unders. I don't think there's going to be, until they fix that and they get more consistent with it, I think all the unders are going to hit.
For another time, I have quite a bit of overs as well for Thursday.
I think unders are the play in week 1 personally. But again, as you guys have seen, I'm a college football whiz because I called Georgia Tech there. I told you that they were going to win. I said they might win. I said they probably would win.
You said they'd cover the spread.
I said they'd cover the spread. They might win. Anyway.
6 out of 7. 6 out of 7.
No, hey, I did. Colby sent me his. He was exactly right. He went 6 from 7. He did miss that game. The only one that we talked about on the pod, so I just had to give him. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm excited. We got a big weekend. We'll be going to a wedding this weekend.
Yes.
One of our good friends. Shout out to.
He's okay.
He's okay.
He's all right.
He's all right. He's not going to watch this, so I don't care.
He does it.
He's like he's on your side. Oh, you got to get it on Spotify or whatever. We're trying. Okay, I'm trying.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Yeah. Make whatever face you want. It's expensive. Anyway, congrats to Dave and Macy. They're getting married this weekend, so we'll be in Mississippi this weekend. No, it's out. It's in Mississippi.
It's in Mississippi?
Mm-hmm, technically. The venue where they're getting married is in Mississippi, so yeah. But we will be at the Bass Pro Pyramid. Take some pictures. It's going to be cool. Austin will be there with us. We're excited. It's going to be fun. We'll be coming back on Sunday, so I'm hoping to make it back personally, back here for the race.
Me too. We will.
You got any stupid questions?
I don't want to ask.
Hit me with it real quick.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
How come for the Clash, I got to thinking about this the other day.
Ooh.
For the Clash, how come we're not just like, hey, you know how you guys love Daytona? We'll run it backwards.
So you turn right?
Yeah.
That is absolutely stupid. That
would you not tune in? You'd be like, I want to see.
Do you know how weird that would be?
I know.
It would be really weird.
Just do it for non-points playing race one time at one track.
I think it would throw the drivers off so bad.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, Harrison Burton might dominate. Harrison Burton might lead every lap. Corey LaJoy might have a chance to win. No, it is a good question. It is. At the
same time, picture it.
Awesome. It would be crazy.
Maybe not at a place at like Daytona, but like Darlington.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Even really throw a wrench in it.
Yes.
North Wilkesboro.
Yes.
Go back to North Wilkesboro on that short track and just run right. Turn right. Really throw them off. Let's build a car and do it like in England. Throw them on the
mail truck.
Yeah. Throw them on the right side of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Turn right.
Might as well.
Do everything backwards. Yeah. Turn the gas pedal. Make it on their left foot instead of their right foot. Do everything. Do everything and be like, let's see who is the best. I think Kyle Larson would win. So he would lap the field 3 times. He can drive with whatever foot he wants. But I am with you.
Pull out just straight to the wall.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. So
yeah.
I like that. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. This stupid question I got comes straight from Austin, and he wanted to know, and you actually already answered it, but he wants to know why you were such a stick in the mud last week. He told me to ask you that.
What?
He said you didn't talk at all on the pod. So.
Oh, I didn't realize I didn't talk at all.
Yeah. You didn't listen back to it, did you?
No.
You gotta listen back to him. It'll make you a better podcaster. It sucks because you have to listen to your own voice. And it's the
that's
worst.
kind of the biggest thing.
It's the worst thing ever, but to me, from the very first one, it's made me better. I'm still getting better at things. But if you listen back to them, it does help. It does suck. It sucks.
I can't stand it.
No, I can't stand it either.
Allie
but it
wants
gets.
To watch the pod and I'm on it. I'm like, I'll take Titan on a walk.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Do it.
But just get through it. You have an amazing voice, Colby. You sound amazing. So yeah, it's beautiful. Hey, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Austin should be back with us next week, but we're in the making. We're going to do another three-guy episode before the end of the year, so I am excited about that. We'll do one, and looking forward to it. Colby, thank you so much for filling in. And after I think Austin's back with us for a week, and then you'll be back here again. So, yeah, you'll
Just let me know.
I will, of course, like always. I thought I gave you a pretty good heads up this time.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
but normally it's like Tuesday night.
It is.
Like, hey,
yeah.
What are you doing tomorrow night?
Yeah, it won't be like that. I'm a professional now. I'm a professional now. Yeah. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, send it to your friends, please. We appreciate every single person that goes out of their way every single week to listen to this. We really do. And if you don't like it, if you don't like how long it is, they're not going to get shorter. We enjoy them. We have a blast. So that one was a Austin Spencer episode right there. We went for a minute. So I really enjoyed it. And enjoy Darlington, and let's go celebrate David Macy and watch a good race.
Let's go. Hopefully we don't get robbed in Memphis.
That's right. See y'all.